I'll do it later. How many times have you said that this week? Be honest. We all do it. We say we'll start tomorrow, or next Monday, or when we're ready. But what if I told you that this little sentence is the biggest dream killer of all time? Most people don't fail because they're not smart. They fail because they delay. Procrastination wears many faces. Sometimes it looks like perfectionism, sometimes like busyness, and sometimes it's just fear dressed up as logic. Hi there. Welcome to English Cactus. My name is Anna, and today's episode is for those who keep saying later but truly want to say now. Before we continue, don't forget to grab your free PDF of this lesson in the video description. And let me say, thank you so much for watching, commenting, and sending messages. Your support keeps this channel alive, and I'm truly grateful. This video will help you study English in a fun, natural way and improve your listening and speaking skills. We recommend the shadowing technique. First, just listen to the story. Get the idea. Then go back, pause after each sentence, and repeat it out loud with me. Match my rhythm. That simple habit will boost your fluency fast, like talking to a real friend. So go grab your coffee, find a cozy spot, and let's begin. Some people say they want to speak English fluently, travel the world, or get a great job. But they never open the book, never press play on the lesson, never write that first word. Sounds familiar? This is what we call being ambitious, but lazy. It's not about lack of dreams. It's about missing movement. You can dream in 5 languages, but if you don't take small steps every day, you stay right where you are, like a couch potato with a passport under the pillow. Funny, right? But painfully true. Imagine someone with 5 English grammar books on the shelf, apps on their phone, and YouTube tutorials saved, but they never finish one. That's ambition sitting still. It looks good from the outside but goes nowhere. Action is the missing piece. Even if you just study English for 5 minutes today, you're already ahead of the version of you who keeps saying, I'll do it tomorrow. You don't need perfect conditions. You need a starting line. And guess what? The more you wait for the perfect day to start, the more your brain convinces you it has to be big, dramatic, perfect. But fluency is built in the quiet, boring moments, like learning how to ask for coffee in English or reading a page before bed. So instead of saying, one day, let today be day 1. And speaking of waiting for the right feeling, have you noticed how we often say we're waiting for motivation? We all love that feeling of motivation. It's like a sudden energy boost that makes you want to change your life, study English for hours, clean the house, and go to the gym, all at the same time. But let's be honest, how long does it last? A few minutes? Maybe a day? Motivation is like a spark. It burns bright but fades fast. If you wait for it to start something, you might wait forever. That's why smart learners don't chase motivation. They build momentum. Momentum is different. It doesn't need fireworks. It begins with something tiny, like saying one sentence in English out loud, or setting a 10-minute timer to read a short article. These small actions are seeds. You plant one today, and tomorrow it feels easier. After a few days, it's not scary anymore. It's routine. And routines, my friend, are where fluency grows. If you can speak for 1 minute today, you can speak for 2 tomorrow. Don't trust your mood. Trust your moves. The trick is to act before you feel ready, because when you act, your brain follows. Start now, not because you feel like it, but because it's your strategy. You're not chasing motivation anymore. You're building momentum. And the best part? Momentum makes the next action easier. But let me ask you something. What usually blocks you from starting, even when you know it's important? Perfectionism sounds noble. I just want to do it right, people say. But let's be real, it's usually fear wearing a tuxedo. A clean excuse to avoid doing the messy, imperfect, necessary work. You tell yourself you're not ready to speak English because your accent isn't perfect, or your grammar isn't sharp. So you wait and wait. But guess what? The longer you wait for perfect, the further you stay from progress. You don't. Learn to swim by reading about water. You jump in, splash around, swallow a bit of pool. That's how it works with language, too. If you only practice when everything is ideal, you'll practice almost never. So go ahead, make that grammar mistake. Say the wrong word. Mix up he and she. It's not failure. It's the sound of you getting better. Real learners get their hands dirty. They speak, mess up, laugh, and learn. Imagine this. You're invited to a party, but say no because your English isn't good enough. That's not humility. It's fear pretending to be standards. Don't let fear dress up as logic. Start with a voice note, a comment in English, a question in a lesson. Action breaks the illusion of perfection. And speaking of illusions, have you ever felt like your brain is too full of ideas, but you don't know where to start? Have you ever opened your notebook and seen a list of 10 different goals? Learn 100 new words, watch 3 English movies, write a journal, practice speaking, read a book, do grammar exercises, and suddenly, your brain shuts down. That's mental clutter. When everything is important, nothing gets done. Too many goals create noise. And in that noise, it's hard to move forward. It's like trying to drive in 10 directions at once. You go nowhere. That's why smart learners simplify. Choose one focus per week. Yes, just one. If this week is about speaking, then speak. Record a short audio every day. Talk to yourself while cooking. Use the new words you know. Don't worry about writing or reading right now. Next week you can switch. The magic is in going deep, not wide. A focused mind is a powerful mind. You'll feel less tired and more confident because you actually finish what you start. We live in a world that says, do more, but sometimes the bravest thing you can do is less, with intention. Like a flashlight, your energy is brightest when it's pointed in one direction. So instead of chasing 5 things at once, pick one and go all in. But here's the catch. Sometimes we tell ourselves we're being productive, when we're actually just avoiding the real work. Let's talk about that. Let's be honest. Sometimes we feel busy, but we're not really doing anything that moves us forward. You plan, you highlight your notes, you organize your folders, you search for the best English app, but you don't actually speak English. That's procrastination dressed as productivity. It makes you feel good, but it gives you no results. It's like cleaning the kitchen instead of doing your homework. Helpful, but also a little sneaky. Real productivity means action. It means you stop preparing and start practicing. You don't need another perfect study method. You need to open your mouth and say, "Hello, how are you today?" That one sentence has more power than 50 hours of planning. Think of it like cooking. Reading recipes all day doesn't feed you. You have to chop the onions, mess up the kitchen, and actually cook the meal. Learning English works the same way. So how do you know if you're avoiding or advancing? Ask yourself, am I learning or am I just organizing learning? If you're always watching videos but never practicing speaking, it's time to shift. Even 5 minutes of real action is better than 5 hours of fake progress. And when you stop over-preparing, you also stop overthinking, which is the next trap we fall into when we want everything to be perfect before we start. Overthinking is like running on a treadmill. You feel tired, but you haven't gone anywhere. You replay conversations in your head, ask yourself, what if I say it wrong? What if they laugh? What if I forget the word? And while your brain is busy spinning, your English stays frozen. It's mental noise that steals your energy and blocks your voice. The truth is, your brain gets tired, not from speaking, but from thinking about speaking too much. One great trick to stop overthinking is a brain dump. Just take a paper and write down everything you're worrying about. No filter, no grammar, just get it out. It helps clear the fog. Then, do something tiny. Say one sentence out loud, not a paragraph, not a full conversation. Just, today, I am tired, or I like coffee. That's it. That micro action tells your brain, I'm not stuck, I'm moving. It creates flow, not pressure. When we live too much in our heads, we miss real chances to grow. You don't need to solve the whole puzzle right now. Just place one piece, one word, one sentence. And suddenly, it's not scary anymore. So next time your mind wants to rehearse everything before you speak, pause and say anything. It doesn't have to be perfect. Because often, the real reason we freeze isn't confusion, it's something deeper. It's fear. And fear, my friend, has many faces. Fear doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers, "You're not ready," or "Wait until you know more words," and we believe it because it sounds reasonable. But deep down, it's fear. Not laziness, not lack of time. Just fear in a costume. It shows up as procrastination, perfectionism, or distraction. But its real message is this: if you try, you might fail. So we stay quiet, we wait, we avoid, and we call it being careful, but really, we're scared. But here's the magic. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's movement in spite of it. You don't need to feel brave to act. You just need to act. Say something wrong. Ask a question in English and forget the word halfway through. Guess what? That moment, that tiny moment, is where growth happens. When you survive a mistake, your brain learns that fear doesn't win, and next time, it gets easier. Think of a baby learning to walk. They fall, a lot, but they keep trying and nobody laughs. In fact, we clap. Why? Because effort is beautiful. And that's the same energy you need when you study English. Don't wait to be fearless. Speak with shaky voice. Write with misspellings. Try even when your hands sweat. That's how fluency is born. And it all starts with making the first step easy. The secret to doing hard things? Make the first step so easy that it's impossible to say no. You don't need to start with a full conversation in English. Just open your notebook, place it on your desk the night before, or write one simple sentence on a sticky note and put it on your mirror. That way, when you wake up, you've already started. You've removed the friction. You're not thinking about studying English, you're inviting it into your day. When something feels big, our brain hits the brakes. Too much, it screams. But when something feels easy, we say, okay, just 5 minutes. And that's the trick. 5 minutes is the door. After that, momentum kicks in. You read one sentence, then another. You speak one phrase, then feel braver. You don't need motivation. You need a lower entry. One click, one word, one action that tells your brain, hey, this isn't so bad. Try this tonight. Put your English book on your pillow, or leave a notebook open on your kitchen table, or record a short audio saying, today, I'm learning. These small habits create movement, and with time, that movement becomes a rhythm. But to build that rhythm, we need tools, especially words. And that's why it's time we shine a little spotlight on some key vocabulary to help you grow stronger and speak with more confidence. Let's talk about a few powerful words that can help you sound more confident and think more clearly when you study English. First, the word mirage. A mirage is something that looks real but isn't. Like, when you think success will come when you feel motivated, but motivation disappears like water in the desert. Then there's momentum, which we've already talked about. It means progress that builds as you move. Not magic, just action that grows with time. Now let's take a look at perfectionism. This word hides behind high standards, but as we've seen, it often means fear. Try saying, I don't need to be perfect. I need to be present. Next is streamline. This is a great word when you want to say, make things easier or simpler. For example, I want to streamline my study. Routine. You're not quitting. You're clearing the path. And finally, Mental clutter. That's when your brain feels like a messy desk. Too many ideas, too little clarity. Try using these words in your daily practice. You could write, "Today I ignored my perfectionism and spoke anyway." Or, "I created momentum by talking to myself for 3 minutes." These small sentences help you own your learning. Vocabulary isn't just for tests, it's for life. And when you understand the meaning behind the words, you start to speak with purpose. Now, let's put everything together and talk about why this lesson truly matters. Now, let me ask you something. How long will you keep saying, "I'll do it later"? You've just learned powerful lessons about fear, perfectionism, momentum, and action. But knowledge without action is just noise. So what will you do today? Will you say just one sentence in English? Will you record your voice? Will you finally start? Remember, real change doesn't happen in giant leaps. It happens in the small, quiet steps you take daily, the ones nobody sees. But those steps, they build fluency, confidence, and freedom. So don't just study English, live it, speak it, play with it, mess it up, laugh, and keep going. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up. If this lesson made you think, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What part spoke to you the most? What small action will you take today? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so you never miss a chance to learn, grow, and finally stop saying, "I'll do it later."